Welcome back to Dry Hollow Homestead. Thanks for coming in the kitchen with me again today. We are going to make another sourdough recipe. I promised you many moons ago. I've only been doing this 2 months, so maybe a month ago. But I promised you that I would show you how I make sourdough bagels. Today is the day, friend. We made those bagels this morning. I'll bring you along. We start with 1 quart of water into a large bowl. This is my Ohio stoneware bowl. Maybe I can try to link one below, but it fits my sourdough stuff awesome, and I do large batches. That's 2 cups of sourdough starter, and I actually had just fed it and let it set out. But sometimes I do this with my starter straight from the fridge, and no bad comes from that. Also 4 teaspoons of salt. And then I'm putting in 2 tablespoons of honey. This is not exact. This took forever for it to come out of my container. It was, I did not want to dirty up any spoons, so that's what I did. It was good enough. So I'm mixing it together with my Danish dough Danish dough whisk, and then I start adding in my flour. This is unbleached all-purpose flour. It's definitely my favorite to bake bread and sourdough with. I do 13 cups into this bowl. This is why I love this bowl. It fits a massive amount. This is also the same bowl I use when I do 4 sourdough loaves at one time. And mix it thoroughly with my dough hook as much as I can. This is the toughest recipe I have to knead together. Most of them do not take this much effort, but the bagels are well worth it. So I usually end up putting it out on the counter and kneading it by hand. If you have a stand mixer, you can also do that in the stand mixer. It would probably take 5 to 10 minutes to come together, but you should probably just get a good arm workout if you can do it. If our bodies are capable, why not? I never want to dirty up dishes. Let me just say that's the whole reason why I do not want to, I don't get my stand mixer out, because I don't want to wash any more dishes than I need to. So this comes together. You can see it already. It's starting to. So it looks like there's no possible way that it can get all incorporated, but it always does. It comes together wonderfully, and it makes amazing bagels. Sourdough bagels, you do need to start the night before. Didn't say that. This is the evening before I want to make them. Before I go to bed, I get this mixed up. I did wash the bowl there and stuck it back in, and then you need to cover it and then allow that to sit on the counter overnight. So this is the next morning then. So I did that probably about 7 o'clock. This is probably about 7 o'clock the next morning. So I'm going to put this out on my slab, and I divide it into eighths. Yeah, is that what it is? Fourths and then fourths. So no, like 16ths, whatever. Usually I even cut these into half. This is my bench scraper. Very handy when you're doing any dough. I usually even cut these in half. Cheers, coffee cheers. But I didn't this time. I did a few, but they looked a little wimpy to me. So I made them into large bagels. And I'll show you how I form them. I kind of let tension be pulled across the bottom of my dough onto my marble. And you don't have to use marble. I just think it does really help. Daisy's learning her technique too. She's doing awesome. A lot of these are actually made by her. Her finger isn't very long, her thumb, so sticking her hole in the center to make the bagel shape was kind of hard for it. But other than that, she did awesome. She made many of them. This isn't her first time. Don't let her fool you. She does this quite often. So we make a ball, like as smooth as we can get it, and then you poke your finger down through, your thumb down through the center. You do want to make sure that your thumb hole, your center hole for your bagel, is pulled open pretty wide, because these are going to set on the counter covered and rise another time before we actually boil them. So that those holes can kind of get closed up if you don't have it pretty large. So I go ahead and I kind of, take the time to make it extra big. Stretch it out real well. Oh, another one that Daisy did. I do hope that I will forever have the perspective of being thankful for the help I have in the kitchen. I have lots of help. I don't know if any of my children, if I'm doing something, they always want to be coming along. And I try, as long as I'm not stressed about getting something done, I try to allow them to help me and learn in the kitchen. This is important for homeschool and homesteading, is to pass on these skills. And one day she'll be doing this in her own kitchen for her own little ones, my grandchildren. And I hope she is fond of those memories like I am fond of these little hands helping me. It's all about your perspective. There are lots of mouths to feed. I have lots of dishes, but having those mouths to feed and dishes to clean means that I have people to love. And lots of laundry. But that just means we are blessed with clothing. You know, you just have to change your attitude to gratitude. Tell me that when I'm stressed out, okay? Right, here we are. Almost done. I think that's our last bagel. I told you, she sticks with me. She's with me this whole process. And so once we have those finished up, all of them shaped, I don't even know how many we got. You could probably count them faster than I can. But they were big. So if you have a lot of little toddlers or whatever, I would definitely have cut them in half again and made smaller. And yeah, we're going to cover them, allow them to rest. But since so many of my people are big now, they can handle a huge bagel. So that is a pot of water that I'm getting to boil with 2 tablespoons of sugar and 2 tablespoons of baking soda. This is traditionally when you're making bagels, you boil them. And first you boil the side that was up and had risen. So, you know, what was up against the pan is flat. So when you put it in the boiling water, and I'm telling you, it takes forever for my stove to boil water. I don't know what is up with it. But you put the risen side down in the water. That allows that flat side that was up against your pan to have a chance to rise while the other side is getting boiled. So I always just do 2 at a time because that's what I can handle. And you usually do about a minute on each side. There is no exact science when they look nice and puffy. And then we add everything but the bagel seasoning on our bagels. But we've done poppy seed, we've done sesame seeds, we've done plain, but this always works well. This is our favorite in our family. And so we just continue to do this. I actually, when we go to like a bagel shop, I just get plain, but everything but the bagel is delicious. So we're going to continue this with every single one. So I usually do one at a time, alternating. That way I can kind of keep up with who needs what. And we boil all of them, and then I turn that oven on 425. I think I said that. It's at 375 right now, but that's because I have a breakfast casserole in the oven. And I haven't gotten out to milk my cow yet, so I need to get moving. She's not going to be really happy. It all worked out. I actually got 4 gallons this morning. She had let down she had been holding back, and she let down because she's been in heat. When she's in heat, she's not exactly the most pleasant cow to be around. She's a little moody. Okay, so this is me in the kitchen. This is what it looks like when I have anything going on. I have lots of hands helping me, and I have an audience, and I need to remember to take the time to allow that because it is so important. I love that we get to be together and we have slow mornings like this, even though it wasn't really slow. We had lots of things to do. And then I had 9 gallons of milk in the fridge, so I couldn't even go out to milk my cow until I had done something with the milk in the fridge. So I had to get cheese started before I even walked outside to get any more milk. And then I got 4 gallons. I'm not frustrated. This is not a frustrated Danielle. This is a very blessed and thankful for the milk. So Nehemiah is actually putting the everything but the bagel seasoning on top of that. And then they are going to go in the oven for, I think it was like 20-25 minutes. I put both of these pans in, so I put one on top and one on the bottom, and then I switch them halfway through, so about 10 minutes, I will swap them. So look, I told you I was getting cheese. I had to get cheese in the on the stove. And so there they are. They are beautiful and delicious. You let them cool before you slice them, if you can possibly wait. And so you bake those you bake them at 425 for like 20-25 minutes. I have I put 2 in my oven at one time, so halfway through I swap them. You know, the top, you know, I just do a, you know, switcheroo, that's what I do. Look how beautiful they come out. They are awesome. Look how huge. I slice these, and then I am going to leave out enough for one meal, and then I freeze the rest for an easy Sunday morning breakfast before church. Get these out with homemade cream cheese, or even we make these into sandwiches with eggs and bacon or sausage and homemade mayonnaise and obviously homemade cheese. So thank you so much for making these with me today. I hope you make them, and tell me in the comments below if you do. I will have the exact recipe. There's no exactness, but I'll try to do write the recipe in the description box below this video if you want to make it for yourself. So thank you for coming along, and God bless. I speak Jesus to you. See you later.